Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm in Santa Paula, California, which is a little north of Los Angeles, about an hour and a half or so. I'm spending the weekend here. There is a lot to see here. This is an historic old California town, and today I am going to go to the Agricultural Museum. Let's check it out. Santa Paula's roots date back to 1840, with most of its history in agriculture. Everything in this museum was used by various farm families in the Ventura County area. When you walk into the museum, you're greeted by this gorgeous 1931 Ford Model A farm truck. Farming is hard labor. Here's a collection of hand plows that were hooked to horses, mules, or oxen to till the land. This wooden plow was handmade and the oldest of the collection, circa 1890. This is a 1914 Yuba tractor. It had 2 speeds forward and 1 speed backwards. This tractor was roughly the equivalent of 12 mules. This is a walnut hulling machine. Walnuts were introduced to Ventura County around 1867. By the 1940s, Ventura County had over 25,000 acres of walnut groves and was one of the leading producers of walnuts in California. But walnuts could be grown more efficiently in other parts of California, so they are no longer in Ventura County. This was fascinating. These are actual blacksmith tools from a local family who had a blacksmith shop from 1910 through 1994. If a farmer needed a tool to do something, he'd go to the blacksmith, describe what it was he needed, and the blacksmith would create a tool to do that job. Look at all of the pieces he had in his collection. This is a working warehouse scale from 1887. The sign next to it says, "Go ahead, weigh yourself." But they had locks on the weights, so it actually wasn't working the day I was there. I'm kind of glad, because after the lockdown, I don't really want to know how much I weigh now. This bad boy is called the Stockton Gang Plow from 1890. This is a Chattanooga F316 single disc plow from the 1920s. This was the very first mass-produced tractor called the Fordson. It was built by, who else? Henry Ford in 1924. This is a John Deere bottle cap plow circa 1929 to 1949. Can you guess why it's called a bottle cap plow? This monstrosity is a John Deere thresher from 1940. A thresher can process a dozen different types of beans, grains, or seeds in the same machine. This is a genuine cattleman's saddle that was used by a local cattleman named E.A. Wadley between 1870 and 1920. This type of thing fascinates me. To Mr. Wadley, this was just a saddle that he used to work. He probably never imagined it would be in a museum. Imagine if that saddle could tell stories. We're going into the next room, which is a little sparse. They were still getting the museum set up after COVID lockdown. This is a one-horse buggy that's believed to have been used by a doctor. We We just finished the decennial census, which counts the number of people in the United States. But did you know that between 1880 and 1950, the census also counted horses and mules? Crazy! This is a 1944 Oliver 60 tractor that was used to farm row crops. You can tell it's a row crop tractor by the angled front tires. The Oliver Company was the result of a merger with 3 other companies, one of them being Hart-Parr Tractor Works, which you probably never heard of. Charles Hart and Charles Parr met in college in the late 1800s, where both were studying mechanical engineering. Now at the time, steam was the last word in power, but Hart and Parr wanted to build a new kind of internal combustion engine using gas. They started building engines for farm use, and they were quite successful. They wanted to distinguish their gas traction engines from steam traction engines, so they advertised them as tractors. The word stuck. Hart-Parr are the founders of the tractor industry, and it was the first company dedicated to manufacturing tractors. This is a 1965 Massey Ferguson diesel tractor. It was purchased used from a dealer in England and brought to Ventura County. This tractor pulled a viner through lima beans and pea fields, harvesting up to 125 acres a day, sometimes working 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. And what is an agricultural museum without actual agriculture? Before the pandemic, this area was basically empty and unused. But after the pandemic, they needed to have more outdoor activities. The Ventura County Master Gardeners Association came and helped develop all of this. They created all of these very cool mini gardens like hay bale gardening, where they have planted 2 potatoes in this hay bale. Here, they have square foot gardening. They added this bird bath to bring birds into the garden. A lot of the activities here have been designed for kids and for families. In this area, they've planted a sunflower garden, and the idea is that in the fall, these sunflowers will be very tall, and they'll be able to have kids come in and have their picture taken among all the sunflowers. This is a pumpkin patch. Again, they've planted them so that when they're ready to harvest, kids can walk into this center and have their picture taken with the pumpkins. This piece of equipment is from 1890. It's a well water drilling rig. In the front, you have another clever use of gardening. They drilled holes for the water to drain and planted all of these plants. This is a beehive, a living beehive. You can see the bees moving. The queen is in here somewhere. And because the beehive is so full, they will leave soon. There is an exit on the other side that goes to the outside. And here are, let's see, the honeycombs. I'm trying to get it without a glare. This museum was so cool, much cooler than I expected it to be. They will have all of the exhibits in place by July 1st, 2021, and the museum is free until the end of this year. And then their rates go up to this exorbitant price of $5 per person. It is definitely worth coming to see this museum if you're in Santa Paula. I hope this helps you find your adventure. Thank you for watching.